He's deceived the world by the way of his miracles, using his technology, using his military, his airstrikes, and his nuclear technology. These things are basically what have become the. That's the marvel that everyone's wondering after, man. Everyone's looking at Esau's capabilities. They're thinking, who's like onto him, and that's really what, and that's going to be flipped because that's the thing is as it's seen now, everyone's looking like, damn, how you even meant to go beyond that? But it's all that's going to be dwarfed. Because same thing with Egypt. Back in the day of Egypt, that was looking at like a level of glory and excellence that hadn't been seen. To where everyone else is having to bend the knee, but that's only for runs for a season, and really it's being what exalted for the sake of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua.
Romans 9th chapter. I'll get that to back up your
Um,
point.
Let me read
Oh,
this.
yeah,
Second Timothy 3:1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. Yeah, that's is this is the end times. And perilous times are here, and men are completely uh, followed through in all these completely backwards ways to be, man. Man are like it's the levels of vanity, the levels of boastfulness, the levels of madness that are being done. It's all hitting that fever pitch, man, to where it's just like the Lord's gonna say like, look, that's touching your wickedness. I'll hold my tongue no more. It's just gonna be like, look, fuck it, we're opening up. Because that's the thing is once it starts, it's gonna be a deluge, man. It says like in 1 hour, America's gonna be brought to naught, man. That great city's just gonna be done. It's gonna be dust. That's the the level of judgment that's gonna be executed, and that's something that even Esau has put in his movies. He's gone back to this time and again. That's something that is because it's bewitching, man. It's enchanting for people to kind of see it. That's how great and magnificent. For them, it could only be a fantasy. Only way it could go down is if even that fantasy is like, even if some super high tech space aliens come, the American military is still so great they're gonna be able to fuck everything up, man. That's that's even the levels it's gone to.
They're really making their tongue fall upon themselves, but the ending is just skewed, man. Really, it's like one of my. I keep forgetting to upload this. The opening scene of Days of Future Past, man, with the
Oh
Sentinels.
yeah, where they're just getting eliminated. It's one of the hardest movies.
That's
still.
bro. That scene is so scary because it's twofold. Esau's got technology like that that's gonna be, looking for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Lord willing, when we get that power, whoever is allotted to, whoever's here and whoever's lot that is. But then also, it's gonna flip on its head when we get raised up and we go going in the holes and hunting them down.
Yeah.
And they're gonna have their little special tech that they've used to get Jake, us in his kingdom, on this side, But then on the other side, it's gonna be like,
That's gonna
meet
be
the
wild.
Man of Steel, man. That's what it's gonna be.
Because that's why like Invincible, that series is hard as
I still need to see that,
I
man.
need to check it because it's hard. Omni Man, that's why that guy was getting memed all over the show.
I saw the memes. That's why.
Yeah, nah, it's everywhere. The meme, it's because it's hard. That last episode is fucking legendary, and that's what it's, bro. That same energy, that's basically just Superman just doing what coming and dealing with the world, and everyone's trying to compete. There's no competition. It's like Yahushua's return. He's gonna come back. He said, "What? I'll not meet thee as a man." So
those are fighting with those. That's something Jake could only say, man. I won't meet you as a man.
yeah, because it's like, bro, that's the thing is with, bro, it's like any means Esau's looking to deal with. He's still caged within he's set within his bounds, man.
Yeah.
He's only given us a lot of the certain amount of shit to deal with. After that, it's done. It's a wrap. It's the Lord, the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and it's really that's what the pride.
And the
That's
Lord
where
said
the
he won't
pride's
meet
at.
you as a man.
Yeah. So it's just like you're still on that man level. It's
Oh, good.
because you know you can drop
Oh,
your miss, you can do whatever, bang. That's why these guys are
Yeah.
still dropping dead, man.
Yeah.
The Lord set the bounds on the life. These men ain't going to the Methuselah 969 level years. The Noah, was it 9
Noah, when you look at the thing, Noah was alive until, I think Shem was alive until Abraham was born.
Shem was 600.
Like, it was crazy. You know, like, all his seed basically died before he died.
Yeah, did a lot of them, and then that's when you saw the life getting cut short, and that's the thing is the Lord, he can he can play with them things. Because I saw an article they did where they said like, oh, it's pretty much impossible to to stop aging beyond like as we thought, and I'm like, bro, that's because Esau's really looking to try and do this. He's trying to have his replacement methods. But that ain't gonna run. That's why this guy's having to go to like altered carbon wear sleeves, where you just like you drop out of one body, drop into a new one, you grow up some fresh young body, and then just like whatever, take it over. These men or the get out kind of things. That's these are the things that these elites are dreaming of. Whilst they're dropping dead. So it's all all that's gonna go out the window.
See, you can see that's Shem, yeah. I'm gonna show it on the camera in a second. 600. So you can see there. Like when you put a ruler there, you can see that.
Yeah, how it goes over.
Yeah, most of the people he was around.
Yeah,
Like that
really
little line really was like.
Peleg was the only one that kind of lost it. Even then.
No, Eber.
Oh, was it Eva?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Double the more or less double the life of.
Okay. Let me make sure. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, just look it up, brothers. You know.
Can I go back?
He basically outlived like everyone past like Eber basically. Eber just lived him a little bit extra, but
Yeah.
Not even-
The bounds were set. It
Yeah.
was taken off, and those things can be reversed. That's the thing. Is these things for the Lord? It's nothing. It's not even a thing. But that's how for the time being. That's how it's running for Jake. But then afterwards, in the kingdom, it's going to be unsealed.
let me just say another thing, and even when you check, because I did a video on this and mentioned it, but even Enoch was basically contemporary to all of them. So from Adam down to Lamech, before Noah was born, Enoch was saw of all of them. And what did he speak about? The Lord coming with his thousands of angels to to send fire upon the earth. And then he disappeared, and then who was born? Noah. And then he talks about, as Enoch was talking about the second death, Noah was talking about it came and prophesied about the first death. So that was, powerful times right there with our forefathers on the other side of the, the flooding of the Pangea of the earth.
Yeah, it mentions. I can't remember where, but it mentions about. Okay, let me finish this.
Yeah, go on.
And then okay, so 2 Timothy 3:3, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good. Yeah, that as well. It's doing righteousness now, doing good now, following the scriptures. That's looked at as doing a bad deed, man. That's negatively looked upon, man. But that's how much it's spiraled out into madness in these times. But that's why it's all of it needs to be brought to naught, because it's all you're basically not addressing or accepting reality. Because like even with homosexuality, it's like with that, it's the most obvious way to see that it's not, it don't make no fucking sense, is because if everyone wants to become a homosexual, the race would die out. It'd be done, like it'd be a wrap. So then you have to think about like, yo, what is the purpose of this?
It's meant to bring fruit of life, but it brings a fruit of death
Yeah.
through disease. Because it's a sexual organ. It's used to what? Sexual reproductive organ.
Yeah, and then you got what do you call it? A waste disposal unit.
Yeah. So it's like, what are you doing putting something that's meant to bring about life
Yeah.
That's getting rid of the excess of your body. It don't make sense.
Yeah.
You know, it's meant to be. It tells you that in Romans, the first chapter, about men being left to their own lusts and
Yeah.
going against their
Burning
true use.
one to another.
Yeah.
Traitors, high-minded, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High, and that's the main thing. Is that pleasure? It's that indulgent, pleasure-seeking. What's it called? Effeminate lifestyle? Nah, I think there's another word.
Metrosexual.
Nah, in the script it might come up. But yeah, it's
The lust of the flesh.
yeah. Maybe it's just pleasure seekers, but it's
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that way you're just
Epicurean.
where yeah, curing as well. Where you in that mindset of just chasing after lust, then that's you're gonna bug out, man. You're not gonna last.
Hey, the Lord said about, it's in the book of Ecclesiastes, saying about despise not, why despise ye labor? Like, or something. There's a few scriptures, about go to the ant, thou slothful servant.
Yeah, that's sluggard.
Yeah, sluggard, like, and even there's another one about not despising laborious work, basically. So, this is the life. We're under the curse and we have to bear the brunt of it. That's
Yeah,
it.
because even with what you call it, says a woman that liveth in pleasure. I think it is dead as she liveth while she liveth.
I believe it's something like that.
Roughly, something like that.
Because
But
really,
yeah.
she's just gonna live to to her own death, basically.
Destruction, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's how does it, and that's the thing is Esau's got his his what's the word, like kind of carnal ways of limiting the risks, well, of basically what you call it, like sexual reproductive stuff like diseases and whatnot. So like you can use condoms, you can use whatever like birth control or get abortions. All these things are like you're trying to avoid the obvious thing of women ain't really just meant to be going out
Yeah.
and playing the harlot.
And it's bringing about a chronic disease. Anyway, it turns something from I forgot the synonym to chronic, which is immediate.
Transitory.
No, not transitory. Like an immediate. Chronic is like slow.
Okay, over time.
Yeah, but then immediate. But
Response.
basically, yeah, you have like if it's like an immediate response to the man having sex with a woman. It's a production of a baby. Her hormones getting readjusted and everything. Now, if she kills a baby within her womb, there's death. There's things that are gonna happen within her body through the accumulation of time. That's really gonna wear on her basically, on her mental energy, her mental space, her spirit, and her body. It's all gonna have an effect on her.
Okay. Having a form, verse 5, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof, from such turn away. For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead silly women laden with lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts. Yeah, and that's the kind of lifestyle that it's promoting, man. That's why it's like the pinnacle of like Esau's kind of like sex symbols is like James Bond, where he's known as a serial adulterer. He's having sex with a bunch of other men's women. These things, that's what's promoted, and that's all these these approaches. That's what it leads to, man. That's why you got pedophilia blowing up, man. That shit's just as time's gone on and on, all you've had is more and more things come out like, okay, this system, it's man, this place is a mess. Ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. Yeah, that's with and that as well. It's like Esau. That's why science is a falsely so called. This guy will be having one for 5 years. Will be saying one thing, then they'll flip on it and say another. Then they'll flip on that and say 3 other things and say, oh, actually all of these are inconclusive. We can't confirm. And that's the thing is, people deal with it like it's as soon as something's said, it's like, yeah, that's it, it's set, it's blah blah blah. then they'll flip it and be like, yeah, but people don't know what the fuck's going on. They do it. That's what they have faith in. Whatever it is that Esau says, that's what they'll run with. That's why when it comes to the Maxine, they'll be like, okay, well, how could people possibly say? I was reading something on the way here. Someone saying, how could someone ever possibly be anti-Maxine? And I was like, well, that means that you're just like saying, like, oh, it shows you're unintelligent, shows you're not this. No, I was like, bro, you are just, you're going with whatever the line is. You've not sat down and actually come to a conclusion on your own. And that's how most people will just take, whatever's dished out to them, they'll just eat it and be like, yeah, that's it, that's great, that's wonderful. They ain't really like, they're not inquisitive, man. They don't go into things. They ain't gonna go and find out and check out and read studies. They ain't gonna get down with nothing. They're just gonna accept whatever they hear on the BBC or they hear on Sky News or they hear on CNN and just run with that. But that's why it's people are real easy to manipulate, because you've gone from where you'd have people would have to especially with how TV more than anything, because the internet kind of can counteract it. But it's most people kind of use it like TV, because TV is just, you get programs broadcast to you. There's a set program, and they'll tell you what they want to tell you. So you have a small circle of information to kind of go on. But then when it's like with the internet, you can go and research absolutely anything. You can find out the fucking history of all kinds of shit, where it goes to, all kinds of shit that's been done. You put the work in, you can find out a lot. But that's why
they're kind of cornering things now.
Yeah,
there's a lot of PDFs I had before that I can't find no more because of you have to use VPNs and different things.
Yeah, to kind of get around. Yeah. Because even with, it's like, the main thing that's funny, I watched a video, they said the iPhone basically killed the old internet. Because now you have everything in apps. It's like people are going to go through apps. So it's like people are going to go to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, certain websites. They're not just going to be browsing for anything. They're not. It's like people won't even Google search things. Back in the late 90s, early 2000s, it was a thing. Just Googling anything, Googling random questions, Ask Jeeves, all that. So where you're just kind of trying to find things. Being inquisitive was promoted. That utilization of the internet. Now it's just like, okay, well, just go on this, consume this. Go watch memes on this. Go look at cat videos on this. Yeah. Just kind of, stay there and watch ads on all these different platforms to make people money.
But even this is the thing though, as well. We're from the generation of going to the library.
Yeah.
And when we were I think because even Uncle Paul. He used to have books from the library and was reading them.
Kind of shit,
And there's all our relatives, but that was a normal thing. You'd go into the library, you'd have people
books,
they'll be renting books, and be like, get your library card and you can read the books or get the comics and you can learn about this, that and the other. That used to be the thing back in the day. I remember if we played out and we had nothing to do, we just go to the library, and just chill and read Tintin or
whatever the fuck,
tennis or whatever. And then the onset of the internet is just I ain't gonna go to the library no more. All I need to do is just go here
and you can have any question you want. You ever think, what does that mean? Or where's that from? Or what's that? Really, no information can be restricted from you. But that's the most people are using it for now. That's why it's when it first came out, people weren't really on it like that. They might just go, and that's why you had something like AOL, where all it was curated websites, or you go on a chat room, or you only can do certain things. Now you can do anything. All people want to do is they'll spend all day on they'll spend all day on one website, or in one app, because that's it. They'll just open the app on the phone. So that's how it's like. Esau is this is what he says, wiser than Daniel, man. He knows what he's doing. He's done research.
Market,
he knows how to kind of get people's minds. That's why it's when you go to Add It. That's why Mad Men still one of my favorite TV shows, because they show from back then. That's when people had a bit more sense about them, back in the 60s, 70s. But then even then, they were getting away with shit, because why? They knew how to kind of get things in people's minds to get a response. They knew what people were kind of looking for. How you're essentially selling ideals which it's like the American dream. Essentially, it's the spirit of the American dream. People are in that spirit, the mindset of where they want to be sold that they can have some kind of great lifestyle. So then that's how you kind of grab their mind, man. And now it still runs, because when you deal with the social media, what is a lot of it is selling that ideal, making people feel like this. It's like a lot of these self-help videos that you'll find. It's just like you might watch it and be like, okay, that's some good information. But there's people that will just watch it and not apply any of it, and then think because they watched it now they're now it's like, oh yeah, they've become smart. But then it's the same thing. It's feeding the ego, but then you're not actually gaining anything from it.
I got something to back up what you were saying.
Yeah.
Revelations 13:11, and it says, "And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon." Now that when it's talking about that beast coming out of the earth, the lamb with 2 horns, the 2 horns basically represent the 2 political parties. But going back to the book of Maccabees, it tells you about when the Romans came into rule, how they basically established rulership or kingship over their republic by doing what? Voting. And that was very controversial back then, because that wasn't something that was done. They'd vote for someone to rule for a period of a year or however long, an age. Do you need a charger?
No.
Okay.
Cool.
And then after they rule for that said period, what would happen is another person would come into play. And that's before the tyranny and all those different things happen, basically. But the 2 horns basically represent the plebeians and the patricians. Plebeians, because I know it's plebs, and I think it's patricians, because the patricians go back to patriarchs being the Republicans, which represent today the Republicans and the Democrats, or over here being a Labour and the Conservative Party. So it says, and he spake as a dragon. That going back to what? The time of can go back to the draconian rulership, dealing with Rome and all these things. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth, that being Rome, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Yeah, worshipping the ideals of what? Of the Roman Empire. And it says, and he doth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And that's really how Esau established his power, according to the blessing that was bestowed upon him by Isaac, that being what? The sword. And that really whipped everyone into shape, alright? And so, these lot got, nukes, and they ain't scared to use them. And they use the atomic bomb going back to Nagasaki and Hiroshima, alright? But then ultimately, when this is really done by the hand of the beast system, NATO and the EU, was done when they bombed Yugoslavia, alright? Now that's the point. I wasn't even meant to read that, but that's the spirit. Verse 14, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And that's the point, going into what you said about the ideals being presented before the people. That's the image of the beast. And everyone has to fall in line with the image of the imagination of this kingdom. That's why everyone seeks after the ideals, like the brother said before about, people are coping by having their one holiday every 3 months, city breaks, long weekends, and then getting smashed on the weekend. It's Friday then, it's Saturday, Sunday. That's what they'll do, man. And even on Thursday became New Friday. They'll get smashed out of their nut and then go to the office and
for half day,
and then just go get back on it. Yeah.
Because that's
do a bit of the sniff and all that.
Bruv, there was one. There was some fucking. Okay, I'll tell you after. I fucking completely forgot. It happened last time we were out.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It was a guy just fucking doing a line.
Oh shit!
When I went to the I was like, bro, it's like, oh, is there I was like, is there a private store? I was like, nah. He just went like there. I was like, this guy is a fucking lunatic, man. I was like, these guys have been missing it. But that's it. They've been missing it, man.
They have.
They've been missing it. These
Even,
guys that sniff.
My uncle, Michael,
Yeah.
was saying that, man.
Because like, bro, without that release, they're done. But I was gonna say as well, that's why they call it the rat race. Because that's like essentially you're just there, ratting a wheel, man.
Mm-hmm.
That you're chasing it. But a lot of people just what? They end up like the fuck is it called, man? American Beauty with Kevin Spacey. Yeah, American Beauty, where he was just a grunt. He was the worker bee. Just his wife hadn't had sex with him in like fucking 10 years. His daughter hated him. He was just working at a workplace that he hated. They're basically living in that grunt lifestyle where there's not like they're just and that's it. And they do that for like 50 years and drop dead, or they retire and then drop dead 3 years into their retirement. Like that's the thing is it's been sold on the ideals, but the reality is all they're doing is amassing more wealth for the elites. That's how it's been from the jump.
And that shows you that, the Lord, the righteousness of the Heavenly Father for us, really, all these kingdoms, the rule of the heathen, all this time, even Jake ruling in corrupted fashions, the short periods of rulership of righteousness, dealing with the kingdom of David and Solomon, we had little spurts of like righteous rule in the land, but really where the world really was like under our vibration was King David and King Solomon. But basically all these different heathen rulerships were to display the different variations that can happen of wickedness that can happen on the earth. Even Jake had their time to shine as well through a corrupt fashion. What happens when you have the spirit of righteousness inside a fleshly vessel?
Yeah.
And how would they deal with it? There'll be some form of righteousness, but there'll be a lot of wickedness because they're in the flesh.
Yeah.
And
And
yeah,
it's funny as well because like a big part of what fucked up a lot of their rule was they stopped being able to have kids, man. The fruit they weren't having kids, or having kids, or dropping dead real young. That's why you had like what's his name, Prince Edward. That guy dropped dead like fucking 13, 14, 15. Some of them would have been poisoned or whatnot. But it's like still that's all kinds of curses. Because it's like being fruitful. That's meant to be one of the MOs, but because of how they're moving, the curses and just close in on them.
Yeah.
Because I think I read earlier it said in secondary 16, I think it said like when those that have to get married as if they're not gonna have kids, and it said what in captivity you'll have children then. So it's like whilst Jake was in the height of ruling, they had a problem with fertility. Then they get into slavery and they're multiplying like with no issues whatsoever. Because why? It's
Time of judgment, yeah. He's not got to come back.
Everyone got to come out there
Yeah.
and eat their share.
And that's why even like 2/3 of the Black Death, killing 2/3 of the people.
Yeah.
That was because it was their time of judgment. They had to wipe them away and then bring in another people to rule. And a set of but the Lord has basically displayed all these different rulerships, these different vibrations, and now we're in a time of like total wickedness. Israel's not known upon the earth; they ain't seen, and this is like a time where there's no form of inheritance. People don't have inherited land, and if they do, it's the elite. They're the only ones that have like, okay, you have this portion, we have this portion, then you are gonna have an allotted inheritance. You're gonna be paid. I forgot the actual name for it, but they get put on because they have an allodial title, they get paid, distributed a pay every month, and then they can do additional work and all that type of stuff if they want, but they basically live off the land. It's like they have a fund set up where they always, because they're set up in that rank, they basically get esteemed a certain way. But then the rest on the lower level, they don't give a shit about them. Us in our kingdom, that ain't how it runs. You're an Israelite. As soon as you come out the womb of your mother, we have to, by law, slap a scepter in your hand and a crown on your head. Because you're an Israelite. Like, yo, Hebrew, hold this. The moment you hear your missus is pregnant, you're going down to the goldsmith, you're getting that scepter made, the starter kit. Scepter, crown, and a sword, you know, and whatever other jewelry or whatever, however you do it, you know, and they're gonna be christened and blessed in that name, man. You know, I'm not saying that's how it's gonna happen, but
Yeah,
you know,
just you know,
yeah,
kind of.
yeah. But that's the type of esteem that we're held in. We're kings and priests upon the earth, as opposed to where Esau, he's people getting popped out here and they're becoming what? They're under the maritime law. They're becoming slaves instantly.
Yeah, no.
You know.
Which is that's why, you know, why they're so upset. They're like for the Edomites with their head screwed on. They're realizing like, hold on, why is it that the 1% is getting so good, but then, you know, we're kind of fucked. But hey, that's why and that's the thing, is that's why they'll take up Jake's cause of, oh yeah, you know, equality, blah blah blah, everyone should be able to X, Y, Z. That's but then when you know, when they had their cut, when they, you know, when they had Jake in captivity, when they were able to build up their own wealth, those things were far and away, bro. So that even I like that scene in what is it, Goodbye Uncle Tom, where you got the kind of slow motion with the music, where you have the white girls running around, then you have like just the Jake boys on chains behind them getting dragged around by them, because that's, you know, that untouchable, dainty Disney princess, you know, the white woman in the modern day and age. She's trying to move like she never gained anything off Esau's rule. But you know, that's a complete lie. You go back into captivity, they were there right next to them, man. Even what's his face, the Django, with Leonardo DiCaprio's character, Monsieur Candy.
Yeah.
His sister was there with him as well, enjoying all the benefits of slavery as well. So that's why it's all they're gonna be judging bulk, man. Just like how Jake was. We read this, Isaiah 24, and 1. It says, "Behold, the Lord maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof. And it shall be, as with the people, so is with the priest, as with the servant, so with his master, as with the maid, so with her mistress, as with the buyer, so with the seller, as with the lender, so with the borrower, as with the taker of usury, so with the giver of usury to him." So yeah, that's that. Any level, all getting fucking thrown in and fucked over together. "The land shall be utterly emptied and utterly spoiled, for Yahweh hath spoken this word. The earth mourneth and fadeth away, the world languisheth and fadeth away, the haughty people of the earth do languish." Yeah, the earth mourneth and fadeth away. That's everything's wasting away, man. Because and it goes into why it says, "The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant." Yeah, and that's a covenant Esau took on himself as well. This guy went out of his way to take it upon himself, and now he's transgressed it. You're gonna have to deal with that. That's why it's what the earth's defiled. Everything's like even the environment's all kind of fucked. Said the trees are gonna rejoice, man, because no fellas come upon
Come up against us.
Come up against us. That's the one. Because why? That's even the trees are getting catching hell. All kinds of, man. It's like when you deal with the levels of what do you call it, pollution. It's wild. That's why you had, like, remember when the lockdown started and people were posting like canals with fish and shit in them.
Venice.
Like.
Was it Venice? Or,
Yeah, I think it was Venice. I think it was Venice,
yeah.
And then maybe Spain
The
as well.
fish was in there for the first time
For the first time in fucking forever time.
Yeah.
Like, that was all kinds of rivers were looking clean as fuck, because like the levels of pollution and waste, and they just showed. And then that's what. And then Esau just tried to latch on some great reset to that, where it's like, this is a great opportunity to. Just, oh no, bro, what the fuck? That don't even sound right. That don't even like that. Anyone that watches that. I don't know anyone who's gonna be happy, you know.
I gotta get into the spirit of
Russell Brand.
No, not Russell Brand. Russell, he's a basketball player. Russell Westbrook. Oh man, what you talking about? Y'all niggas tripping. I'm gonna show you the
For real, because that's man are doing like, that's just throwing it out there, just being like, oh yeah, this is a great opportunity. We should be looking. Oh, great reset. That don't even sound right. Sounds off as hell. So it says, well, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left. Yeah, the judgment is chasing after all that defilement, man. That's gone down, because everything being thrown out of course, it then comes down to, okay, it needs to be cleansed.
Yep.
Because that's why it got to the point
The
where
balance has to be put back in.
because that's the funny thing. Whenever you see people kind of addressing how fucked up society is, they're just kind of like, okay, what's the solution? And it's just like, oh well, I don't really know, because it's beyond the point of no return, man.
Yeah.
Like at this point, for you, like how are you realistically? The only way that there's going to be a big systematic change is if some people raise up and then kill a bunch of other people, and then set up some new shit. That's the only way it can go down. Because otherwise, what people say, no, you can do it through government and blah. I'm like, nigga, have you read history, man? When's the time any government ever was just like, without any force, was just like, okay, we just make this big change now.
That's why this man's the devil, because he deceived the people.
Yeah, they're really out here thinking voting or some shit is gonna have an impact, bro. Remember the even with when the student uni prices went up from like $3,000 to $9,000,
yeah.
it tripled. Then people were rioting. That's they went where was the guy in there and none of that shit even mattered. They just went and did it. And that's the thing is these elites do whatever the hell they want. You guys are just there. You guys are
you ain't got a voice, man. Bitches, man. And then when someone does have a voice, you're like, calm down, calm down. It's not that deep.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, you guys. That's why I enjoy being fucked over by your elites, man.
I got sorry, see your point.
Enjoy being fucked over by your elites. These guys don't like you, don't care about you. They've shown they don't like you. They've shown they don't care about you, and they will continue to. That's just like people that actually believe Boris. It's that cult of personality where people actually like Boris. They think he's got their best interests at heart. I'm like, my nigga, what the fuck are you talking about, man?
The nigga went eating, man. He don't know you.
He's not your. Bruv. I remember I watched a video where someone was breaking down how he kind of has that. He almost seems like a just like a bumbling idiot. But he's obviously smart in how he goes about and does these things.
It's called personality, man.
Because, they were saying like, there's one clip of this guy fucking trying to beef some guy, just saying like, oh, take that back, old boy. Take that back. I'm like, these guys are they're in the same circles. They've got their own ways of doing things, and it's just to the average peon, they think
it's comical.
Yeah. But then that's not them men are dealing with their own thing.
Yeah.
That's even the guys that come from the outside. They don't really get in like that. They don't deal with them on the same level.
Why do you think he's got all them baby mums, man?
This guy's got married. I was like, bro, he was cheating on his ex with her, and then now she's bred up. Man, that bred. Oh, shit. It's funny as hell, but it shows that like, bro, it shouldn't be a marvel when your elites are looking to destroy you, man.
I got a quick one. 1 Samuel 2:3. Talk no more, so exceeding proudly. Let not arrogancy come out of your mouth. And this is the arrogancy. For the Lord, this isn't the arrogancy. The arrogancy is going against this. For the Lord Yahweh is a power of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed. Yeah, so you people out there thinking, how can we solve this? How can we do this? No, the Heavenly Father that sits in the heavens, he's going to tip the scale and say, all right, this is what I'm going to do. You need a charger?
Nah.
Okay.
This app uses way less battery.
Oh, see. So basically, that's it. Like, he's going to put them in the balances like he did with Babylon, the first Babylon, all right? This Babylon the Great's going to go through the same thing. The writing's on the wall right now. We're just the ones headed by the apostles, breaking down the writings on the wall. We're reading that many Tekopharsal. We're letting you know what it says. It says that your kingdom has been weighed and found wanting. And that the it ain't the Medes that are gonna come and take your kingdom. It's the king. It's Yahweh Shai that's coming to take the kingdom. That's the writing on the wall, and it's being published before you. But guess what? You're not gonna hear. You guys know it. That's why you're setting up your Elysium to fly off like 2012 and shit when the destruction comes. But you're gonna get your just desserts. I got one other scripture I was holding from before. So I'm playing some wholesome garage.
Oh, what's that?
So like a garage bass, like
through the earth, like.
or drum and bass, maybe. Romans 9:17. For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth. So this is go ahead, bro.
Oh, no, that's it, bro. It's all the Esau's built all he's been given, all he's done. It's what built up for his fall, and that's why it's the carnal trappings.
Heaped onto yourself riches for the last day. I can't remember. Is it Book of James or?
Yeah, James. Yeah. Heap treasures for the last days. Okay, yeah. Because they are many. Where is it?
Oh, that's Isaiah 30.
Yeah, that's what I was
You
thinking.
trust in charity.
Trust in charity.
If it's not 30, it's 31.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's probably it. Okay, yeah, 31. Yeah. Isaiah 31:1. Woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek Yahweh. Yeah, they're not seeking after Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. That's especially with Jake. They're just looking at the might of what Esau can do, man. They're thinking about his technology. They're thinking about his smartphones, his Xboxes, his motorized vehicles, his planes, his not destroyers. What are they called? Aircraft carriers.
Aircraft carriers.
Aircraft carriers.
Yeah.
They're looking at these nuclear submarines. They're looking at all the capabilities of what Esau's able to do, and that's what they're enamored with. They're thinking, wow, this is that's where they're just like, yo, there's no hope. This is done. But who's the one who gave him all that? That's the thing is because Esau's his identity's been hidden. It's been lost. Now he's become the Caucasian. Now he's become white. Now he's become European or American. When you look at just that, then you're thinking like, oh shit, these guys were just went from riding on horses to fucking cars and all kinds of shooting fucking machine gun fire and whatnot in like no time flat. But then you don't know. It's like you need to go back to where he came from, man. And same for Jake. You need to do this do the search of your fathers to kind of know what went on, because then you realize, okay, so why this guy's blessing was a sword. That's really what it is, because the majority of Esau's technology, it starts off as military research, military technology in the first place. Then afterwards it trickles down to like consumer versions. And that's what it is. It's all Esau's got. He's got through the sword, theft, robbery, murder. So then, okay, but then you can marvel at that, but then what's the end result? You're gonna get recompense for that. And that's the thing. It says, envy not the oppressor, because you're looking at him like, oh wow, he's got all this, but then no, that's the scales are gonna be rebalanced when Yahweh Shai comes, and then the kingdom of heaven gets set up. Yeah.
I got something.
Yeah, so
James 5:1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl, for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Yeah, right now you got the hyperinflation happening. That's on one level, but then on a deeper level, this is blood money. All the wealth that they've accumulated over the years it stems from what? From blood. All right, like America, for example. America and the Americas, should I say? Now North, Central, and South, along with the islands of the Caribbean, they got blood. They're tainted by blood. It was all the sugar cane for Britain. Take sugar over in the East India near the Docklands, all those different regions. That made the abundance of wealth that you got. The private sector of the UK, or this a private sector in London known as Canary Wharf, all right, where basically you have Barclays Bank, Citibank, all these different banks established. That's built upon what? The stocks and bonds of the trade of slaves coming back and forth from the transatlantic slave trade. All this wealth that's been accumulated in this kingdom is basically from blood debt, all right? And it tells you in numbers, what, 35, 33? That blood pollutes the land wherein, if you're not meant to put blood upon the land because blood pollutes the land where it is. And it can't be cleansed of that blood unless the blood of him that shed it be shed upon that land. So there's a balance that needs to be made. And this is what it's going into. So this is James 5:2. Your riches are corrupted and your garments are moth-eaten. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you. Yeah, that rust, okay, that wickedness that you did is a mark against you. That's why they're going into the history books and trying to remove all the history to make it seem as if, no, we did, we came over here and we discovered the land and did this. But then when you go into the history of the land of America, how many people went over to that land? You have an abundance of history. You have the Hamitic people, all right, going over there because they established themselves dealing with maritime before. Because remember, it said Israel was the last nation established. So you had other nations that are functioning and they were up already and they had kingships and whatever. And they went into their special trades or whatever. And that's why, like, King Hiram Abiff had a good, had a union. And he, Apostle Tar, I remember he said years ago, he probably was a Jake. He could have been, man. Because he